Welcome back to the show, everybody. This is Mike with Door and Lock Tips. We're going to be talking about Kwikset, but not just any Kwikset. We're going to be talking about their electronic Kwikset Deadbolt. Now, this isn't Wi-Fi or anything special. This is just an electronic push-button lock for 28 bucks. I bought this from Amazon. It was on Amazon Prime Day. So I got a super deal. I think I got 30% off on this lock. But to be honest with you, it's worth every penny. And I'm going to show you what I'm going to do to make this harder for a locksmith to pick. And I'm going to use something that only cost me 8 bucks. I bought this from COK Supply. No, UHS Hardware. Yeah, I don't remember. The GMS lock. It is a deadbolt type cylinder. I'm going to make this thing pretty much pick resistant. And how I'm going to do it is the lock that came with this, of all things, 5-pin. And I'm going to add this to the Kwikset, very inexpensive Deadbolt electronic lock, and I'm going to add a 6-pin to this beauty. Who has a 6-pin? Not many. So it's a 6-pin Kwikset KW5. And I made a whole master key system up for it. Master key system. I think it's going to blow your brains out. I was thinking about this. I thought, you know what? I need to make a Kwikset 6-pin lock. And I need to make it so that it works perfectly with this electronic lock. I thought, man, how am I going to do this? I'm going to ditch the cylinder that came with the lock, which is only 5-pin. I'm putting in a gem 5 drilled 6. 5 drilled 6. I'm going to pin it up. We're going to have a blast because I'm going to make it into a 6-pin second means of access to this electronic lock. So let's get into the show. Here's the beautiful, nicely finished Kwikset electronic. Now it's interesting. I went online because this is where I bought it from Amazon. And they call it a 92640-001 contemporary electronic lock. And I paid 28 bucks and it's now $40. Rats. So Amazon Prime Day was the way to get it, which would have been really nice, right? The manual, though, says it's a 264 contemporary, which has some of those same numbers in here. 264 is buried in there, 92640. Anyway, I just want you to get the right lock. I'll put a link down in the description for this lock. Great lock. Here's the outside keypad. Nice little rubber seal. I like it. Cool. Very thin, lightweight. It's only a grade 3, but I don't think really you're going to stop many people from getting through your locks at your house. It's just time prevention. So we're just trying to make it longer for them to get through your lock. Here's the deadbolt that came with it. Deadbolt cylinder housing. I put the tailpiece from my deadbolt cylinder housing, which is a rim cylinder. I put my tailpiece over to their deadbolt. I just wanted to make sure it worked. This is fixed, which was fixed in one position on mine, and there's swings. So I'm holding the key, and notice theirs has some play in it. So the deadbolt has to have some play when you're throwing the thumb turn. Evidently the electronics work with that. They're trying to have second means of access with the key. It's not a fixed tailpiece. You have to spin the key all the way around to get this thumb turn to turn. But it does work. but there's a play in there. There's a lag in it, which makes sense because there's a motor running this whole thing. Nice. I can switch out the tailpiece. And I will put a link down in the description for this gem cylinder. All it is rim cylinder housing for a panic device, but it goes right in this nice electronic lock. I couldn't get the finish I wanted. Everybody's out of this finish, this nickel finish, so I just got 26D, which is fine. It'll look great. I got a cover over that right now, some plastic cover. It'll match almost exactly. Well, kind of, I guess. This would have been nicer. Nickel. And they're proud of their name, Kwikset. So that all gets negated. So this is only 5-pin. This is 6-pin. It's pinned up 5. It's drilled 6. So it's just slightly longer. If we hold these two together, it's longer, just by 1 pin length. The bolt pattern is slightly off. I'm going to modify their plate. My screws don't line up perfectly, but when I get done, you know, a locksmith, that's what he does. He modifies stuff. So I'm trying to make a cool lock out of this, guys, by adding this 6-pin KW5 key to the system. I'm telling you, it's going to really be cool. Way better than just a 5-pin. So here's a 5 against a 6. When you look at this, it's shorter. See the shorter part? I put the shoulders together. It's shorter by 1 pin. Nice thing is, when you order a KW5 key, the head on it is quite unusual. I like that. Clients will feel like they're getting something for their money. KW5. I like that. Versus just a regular Kwikset key. I'd feel more comfortable with this on my keychain. So now what we're going to do is I'm going to take and I'm going to gut this thing. I don't have to gut the other one. I'll just leave that all pinned up the way it is and leave the tailpiece switched out. I'm going to gut this one and I'm going to make it into a 6-pin. Pinned up 5, but drilled 6. So I'm going to add 1 more pin and I'm going to change the whole keying system so that my master key system works with it. This is so neat. And just to show you, see how that's seated out in the 6-pin? If I try this key with this other cylinder, it doesn't seat. So this is just a 5-pin. So you do have to buy that cylinder from UHS Hardware lock to make it into a 6-pin. So let's gut this bad boy and pin it up correctly for high security. Not really high security, but it'll be better. It'll be better than the standard Kwikset, trust me. Lots and lots and lots better. Does this work? Yeah, oh, look at the bidding on this thing. It's not too bad. I want to show you something though. This was the bidding on the general lock I just bought. I guess that's cool because it's way low in the beginning. I don't know. This is junk bidding. Hey guys, this is what it looks like all done. Oh, it's smooth as silk. And the really cool thing is, this will work if you grind the tip of the key down just the same in a 5-pin cylinder, let's say the front of your house, or this 6-pin. So let's see this thing gutted. I went ahead and gutted the main cylinder I want to show you. Plus I gutted this other cylinder, and there's a reason. I'll show it to you in the end why I did this original Kwikset Deadbolt cylinder 5-pin, why I did this. Yeah, I think you're going to be surprised. Here's the entire heart of the system, guys. Don't want to drop this. But look at here. Look at the spool pins. Look at the master pins. And here's the bottom pins. Now, Kwikset, they don't put conical end on just one side of their pins for the key pins. They do it on both sides. So you can never make a mistake with that. Spool pins, these top driver pins, I took them straight out of my commercial Kwikset pinning kit. So this is really a professional kit. Highly suggest you buy it. It has all the master pins all the way up to 6. And then you have different driver size. You have a 180 and a 160 thousandths. Very important, and I'll tell you why. I went ahead and set up this cylinder to see if, straight from the factory, if using their springs and their drivers, if it really worked. And I'm going to show you the difference. Here's the GEMS system. They had an overall size of a driver. Let's look at this. It is 215 thousandths. The right size of the driver is supposed to be either 160 or 180. That is huge. And it jammed the whole thing up when I used the master pins. So 216 thousandths is way too big. So you have to pull your top drivers. You just have to. And here's another crazy thing. I want you to see something. Here are the springs. Here's the spring that comes in the GEMS lock. And look at the smaller springs. I just want to show you. Look at these smaller springs that come in Kwikset professional pinning kit. These are smaller. They're made out of steel, and these are made out of brass right here. Look at the difference. We'll put one right next to it. Look at the difference, guys. Really way too big and junky. If I wouldn't have gutted the entire cylinder, you know, the top part of it where the drivers are at and in the plug itself, I wouldn't have had all these nice spool pins. And this spool pin right here is smaller than these other spool pins. I had to use the 160 side of my pinning kit because I used a number 6 master pin. So let's put it together. I set it up for a master key system, so here's the change keys. One of these keys I ground the tip off, and there's a reason for it. If you guys are locksmiths, you'll know what I'm talking about, why I did that. Remember, these are KW5, and they're extremely long, 1 pin longer than the normal Kwikset key. That's just a KW1. Why would I grind one of the ends off on one of these? Experimentally trying something. Look at this. Look at that. So it's all the same, except I ground off this peak and put a different... I tried to match the pitch of the front of the key so it doesn't jam in there when I'm first putting it in. Well, we're going to see why I did this. There's a reason why. Remember, I repinned this original 5-pin. I think you're getting the idea. All right, I'm going to load up this cylinder. Now, here we go. You know, it's a nice plug. It's solid. I'm liking it. Chrome plated. Really nice. It's beautiful. So this brand, it's a knockoff, but it's decent, guys. It's decent. So there is what I'm using in place of the original Kwikset Deadbolt cylinder. All right, let's pin this up. It's kind of easy if I can do it standing up. So remember, these are conical on both ends, so I just got to get them in the right slot. Well, I'm not going to be able to do it standing up. I have to be sitting down. I can't stand up and do these pins. All right, there's the first chamber at the front of the cylinder where the key goes in. And I do have to push them down a little bit because I got lubricant in there. I've loaded this already once, trial run, and I have a number 2 master pins. Really great top driver pin spool. First we'll load up the plug. Second chamber. And master wafer. The third. Wow, I decided to start over again. I'm going to do it the normal way. I always load my housing first. I just do that. So first I'm going to put in all the springs, because these springs right here are lower than the height of the inside of that chamber. Watch this. I'll put that down, just drops right below the surface. I can put my follower in and it works perfect. I'm liking these springs anyway, they're decent. Really a great spring. I got my third one in there. I load from both sides. Too hard to see inside there, past halfway. I'm going to show you inside this thing. So when you look inside, the springs are all below the surface. See if I can get you to see that. They're all below the surface. So when I put my follower in, they don't hit anything. You need those springs to be shorter. If you use a standard spring that comes with that gem lock, it's too long, it sticks way up about that high, and it's just jamming that cylinder up. And then these huge top drivers are way overboard. I always leave this end at the back of my cylinder. I've just always done that. And start about center of the way in. Now the 3 top drivers on this side of the chamber are all the same. So I can't make a mistake. So you have to start from number 6, 5, and 4. I put that in. I push the follower a little forward, and then I've got it holding down that pin. Most of you guys know what I'm talking about, but maybe you don't. All right, I take this spool pin, I put it in the hole, I push my driver, which is this white thing, forward against the pin. It holds it from coming up, and I push it down with my tweezers, and it's in there now. There's not much resistance on this because of those smaller springs, but there's a really good reason. Kwikset must have understood how their system works. Been around forever. It would spring up, but if I push my driver against it, push my follower against it, got to get the wording right. This third chamber inside of there, see if I can get you to see it, gets the smaller spool pin, the 160. So 160 thousandths. Oop. Hooty-doo. Get this smaller driver in here. There we go. Push my follower against it, and we got it down. There we go. So now the top is loaded with the smaller springs and those killer spool pins. I don't have to worry about that thing anymore. Now the plug. You know a little trick, guys? If you shake your cylinder here, if you hear a rattle, you know you left a spring out. Now I'm going to load the plug. I'll just go ahead and start loading. I think you understand how this works. They're all down. Notice the third chamber, why I changed that spool pin to a 160. This thing is right almost at the shear line, and if you use a huge driver pin and a big spring, that's what made it hang up. Got that done. I can go ahead and load this in the housing. I'm going to turn it sideways. There we go. There we go. Everything is done in here. I'm going to put the cap on the end.
That takes a littler spring.
Remember I said the tailpiece had to have some slack in it? Well, that's how they did it. They had a washer on this, and this part slides in that round washer. Isn't that cool? Back here, see, it allows it to slip for that motorized deadbolt. Pretty cool engineering, really. I'll just show you what I'm doing here. So you got to get it in the slot, and you put your little cap on. I'll push this down just to get it started. That pin, it wants to keep you from turning. It's made to do that. And I love this little tool. Castle tool, some people call it. I think it takes a smaller side. So it just slips right in there. Holds that pin. I should turn that nut, retaining nut. That's all the way tight. I back it off one. See how that's held in there? That little pin is spring loaded and it goes in this castle nut. All right, moment of truth. See if I did anything right. As smooth as silk. Now when I loaded that up with these bigger springs and those top drivers, this thing was just as tight as can be. Key kept catching right in the beginning, and I thought, man, oh man, this thing's junk. I didn't follow the principle, which was using the exact pins that Kwikset recommends. You know, they made this beautiful kit for a reason. So you got to use all those parts and pieces. Shaking it, there's no sound going on here. Isn't that nice? Now I'm going to show you why I pinned up the original cylinder. I pinned it up the same as this, with a master key system, the whole thing. But this has 5, this has 6. But the problem is, when you use a KW5 key, it's so long. The tip is that if you don't grind it like I did here, Do is you grind off that tip. See that tip there? You grind it off and you just grind it to the bottom flat cut and put an angle on it. Now watch this. Watch what can happen. It works with the 6-pin cylinder and it works with the 5. If I wouldn't have ground it off, guys, it hits back here inside on the tailpiece and it doesn't work. Now this will work in a standard house key. So if you have a 5-pin Kwikset on your house and you want to add this nice, well, it's grade 3, so it's not that great, but you want to add the convenience of having a pick resistant cylinder on your deadbolt with 6 pins, you can do it. You don't have to tell them, oh, you got to change all the cylinders, everything's got to be redone. All you got to do is pin their house up to the same system existing there at the house and just add 1 pin to the system and into this cylinder and you will be happy. It will all work. But I highly suggest you master pin the thing and you add these wonderful top spool pins. You have a better system for it. I mean, really, look at this. Aren't those spool pins cool? It'll make it less pickable, if that's even a word. And there you have it. Made my Kwikset $28 electronic deadbolt into a better system so they can't really pick through this as easy, okay, as easy. Guys, I hope you enjoyed this. It was kind of fun, experimental to see how this really worked with this deadbolt from Amazon, of all places. I like buying from Amazon. It's really a nice, easy purchase, and I don't have to pay shipping. So that's how this slips together. This will go on a door, and you have a nice cylinder that is 6-pin KW5. So please subscribe to my channel, tell your friends, and I'll have more door and lock tips like this coming to you in the future. Thank you, guys. Thank you. Hey guys, don't forget to tell your friends and hit that like button. You know, you can move this video to your buddies all over the United States of America. Who knows, all over the world. Please subscribe to my channel and tell your friends and hit that like button. Thanks again.